Time now to check in with Liberty Outdoor Track and Field. The Big South Championships beginning on Thursday down at High Point. And, Coach, what do you know about Vert Stadium and the facilities you'll be competing in this weekend?
I understand it's quite a bit like our stadium here, so we could have a little bit of the feeling like we're home. But I don't know as much as other coaches know because we haven't been there. We actually signed up to go to a meet this year that was supposed to be there, and so we could see the facility. And then Campbell and High Point decided to have it at Campbell instead, so where I had been before, as you may know. But so we haven't been to the facility, and the first we'll see of it is tomorrow. But it's a pretty new facility. I understand it's a nice facility, so we should be fine.
Coach, as we tape this interview on Tuesday morning, a lot of activity going on around us. What's going on right now?
Well, the kids have what they love, no classes. So we can have practice earlier in the day, and they're just out here doing a little shakeout, and nothing too hard today, but the team is practicing behind us, a number of the groups anyway.
If I was to shake out, what would I be doing right now?
Well, you do a warm-up, you get moving, you kind of shake out any stiffness, just nothing that's going to leave you fatigued, but the kind of things that'll keep you from tightening up.
Well, your men's team is vying for its 9th straight outdoor title. How do they get it done?
By performing as they can. We need to just go in there and be solid, not have any major meltdowns, and I think that's what we need to do. We don't need miracles. We just need good, solid performances across the board.
As you look at the list of males competing and the different events they're competing in, what kind of piques your interest right now early on?
Well, it's an unusual meet on the men's side because there are teams that are dominant in different areas. Campbell's pretty dominant in the long distances. Coastal is dominant in the sprints and hurdles, and we're more dominant in the field events. So head-to-head competition, the events where we have the head-to-head competition directly with Coastal will be ones that will be very interesting. Something like the long jump where they're seated 2-4 and we're seated 1-3, but there's only 1 centimeter between, so essentially that means nothing. And how those things shake out will be pretty important. But then there are other events where you can almost put down to if there was betting, the odds would be really high about who's going to win. So it's interesting, and that's how track and field often is. You're and a lot of times it's not the elite athletes, but it's more the guys who are vying for 6th, 7th, and 8th that make the difference in how the meet turns out.
Coach, in all the interviews I've done with you, we've never talked about the pre-event pep talk. Is there a big pep talk to your teams before big meets like this?
Well, we have our senior banquet tonight. Okay. So I think that our seniors will be giving the pep talk as they talk about their experiences in 3 or 4 or 5 years in Liberty Track and Field. And motivation is always a big part of it, but motivation, the kind of motivation I like is the internal motivation, the calling, the drive that comes from inside rather than just, somebody saying a bunch of words to fire you up, because the rah-rah motivation only lasts so long. And it's if somebody's running a 10K and you're trying to rah them up, that's stupid. because if they get too rah-rah'd up at the beginning, by the time they're halfway through the race, reality sets in and like, oh man, what was I thinking? So we want people to be cool, calm, collected, and focused, and not thinking of self more highly than they ought to think, but thinking soberly, each in a measure according to the gift that they have. And so, I guess there's not a typical do one for the Gipper kind of speech that goes on, but character goes a long way in track and field, and we're constantly trying to instill character in the young people so that when adversity comes, they don't fall apart.
Liberty fans all know about the rivalry with Coastal Carolina, and a lot of people may not know they're very competitive in track and field as well. Now we talk about the women's side of things. The Chanticleers have won 9 of the last 12 outdoor titles. Where does your women's outdoor squad, how do they measure up to the rest of the competitors here this weekend?
This year looks like it should be a very interesting meet. it's not like we don't need a miracle to win. Some years we've gone in where, barring a miracle, we're going to get beat by 40, 50, 60 points. They beat us pretty soundly indoors, but I feel like our shot is a lot better outdoors. There's a few more field events, and we're better than them in the field events. They're better than us in a number of the running events. But it's going to be another great one, I think. They'll be motivated. They always show up. They always step up. And we're going to have to do the same thing if we want to get a victory.
All right, Coach, wish you the best of luck. I'm going to go shake it out real quick. So if that's okay with you, we'll end this interview, and we wish you the best of luck and go get them this weekend.
I'll go let our trainers know that you're planning to shake out.
I need an ice bath, that is for sure. That's head coach Brant Tolsma. Don't forget, the track and field outdoor championships begin at High Point on Thursday, and they'll wrap up on Saturday. For exclusive coverage and recap of all the events, stay logged on here to libertyflames.com.